Welcome to another Juju live session, a live Q&A about the do's and the don'ts in Egyptian dance. So feel welcome to join me and share your questions around the do's and the don'ts in Egyptian dance, the things that we definitely should do and the things we definitely should not do. I'm going to start this session reading and answering a few questions I've received along the way. So many years of work in this field in Egypt for almost 10 years and then around the world, and now at my online platform and school, and dealing with students and colleagues and sponsors and the audience from all walks of life and receiving all sorts of questions. Some of them, I have to admit, very funny and very ridiculous, but still worth answering, okay? So before I read the questions I have in my notebook, the ones I've selected, let me present myself. For the ones who don't know me yet, my name is Joana Saahirah. I'm a world-renowned Oriental dancer, teacher, choreographer, and author. I'm also the creator of the pioneering online platforms Joana Saahirah's World and Joana Saahirah's Online Dance School, delivering authentic Egyptian dance, personal discovery, and empowerment. And here we are for the do's and don'ts of Egyptian dance. If you're watching live, feel welcome to share your questions and your feedback on the theme. If you're gonna watch the replay, feel welcome to drop your comment as well, okay? So without further ado, cheers, the first coffee of the morning. Let's start with a few questions on do's and don'ts in Egyptian dance, okay? First, let's go for, I'm gonna alternate, okay? I have two lists, I have the do's, I have the don'ts. I'm going to jump from one list to the other. Let's go for the don'ts, okay? Question number one, should I, be prepared, should I twerk when I do belly dance? I think we need a moment. This is a real question. I hardly believe it, but this is a real question. And I've received it so many times. I wonder what's happening in the world. You know, it is funny, it is absurd, and it is also something that should be worrying me, but it's not, because I'm used to the madness. So let's see, there are a lot of things wrong in the question itself. So should I twerk when I do belly dance? Let's start with the word belly dance. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I don't use this word simply because it's not the name of the dance, okay? So the name of what people usually call belly dance is Raqs el-Sharqi. Raqs el-Sharqi, dance of the East, Oriental dance, dance of the Orient. Egyptian Oriental dance. I'm gonna die saying this. So the first thing that is wrong, that you should not do, is use the word belly dance, for God's sake. I think we've passed, we are past, or we are supposed to be past this kind of ignorance. We're still not, but we're heading there, I hope. Then, should I twerk? I think there is a huge confusion between what is Egyptian dance and what is personal freedom, okay? So we're going back to the question of fusion and cultural appropriation and following your feeling and not really caring about the dance itself. Although I'm not the owner of the truth and I cannot tell anyone to do or not to do whatever they feel like doing it, as an educator, as a teacher, as a dancer in this field, that has been involved with it at the highest level for such a long time, I have to tell you what is supposed to happen and what is not. And then you are free to do whatever you want. Twerking or any other element from pop culture, from African culture, from Indian culture, from any other culture you wish to bring into Egyptian dance, although they are elements that you are free to use wherever you want. And then again, I'm not the one who's going to stop you. Nobody can stop you from doing whatever you want. It has nothing to do with Egyptian dance. So what people call freedom and personal freedom and creativity, I'm free to do what I feel, should not mean they are able and allowed to disrespect the dance they claim to love and perform. So twerking has nothing to do with Egyptian dance. I love twerking, it's fun, but it has nothing to do with Egyptian dance. And when you bring this kind of element into the dance, it's confusing, it's messy, it's chaotic, it's not even gonna fit the music, it's not gonna fit the mentality and the culture and the feeling and the soul of the dance. So although you're free to do whatever you want, you know, um, and in fact, people do. They do whatever they want. There are all kinds of messy, chaotic, nonsensical stuff happening in terms of the elements people mix with Egyptian dance. The truth is, nobody can stop you. As a teacher, as an educator, the only thing I can tell is that that's not part of the dance, not of belly dance, of Egyptian Oriental dance, for God's sake. And if you really love the dance, and if you want to become an Oriental dancer, ra'asa, beautiful ra'asa, there is no other way around it. You have to know the dance, you have to know the language, you have to know the codes, you have to study it, okay? And doing what you feel, having personal freedom, being creative in your self-expression, have nothing to do with ignoring the dance, okay? Education is not the opposite of freedom. Let me put it this way. And I think a lot of dancers think that if they need to educate themselves, it means they're not free to do whatever they want. No, it's quite the opposite. Education can make you free. Education can empower you. If I know more about the codes of Egyptian dance, Oriental and Folkloric dance, if I know more about the rules, the principles, the attitude, the vocabulary, the expression, the meaning, the culture and the soul behind those dances, if I have more information about it, I am more free. I have more material to play with, to be creative with. So stop confusing the lack of freedom with education. Education is good, it's always good. Knowledge is indeed power, okay? And the more you know, the more educated you are as a dancer, the freer and more creative you can become, while respecting, honoring, celebrating, and uplifting the dance that you claim to love. I hope I answered that. Now let's go for a do's. Should I take my Egyptian dance seriously? This is certainly a do, okay? But seriously, not in the sense of not having fun at it. I usually tell my students, fun is important. Fun is very important. When you take everything too seriously and you believe that you need to suffer in order to evolve in your dance, there is a huge part of the dance spirit that it gets lost, because Egyptian dance is supposed to be fun and celebratory. And there is a part of your journey that is lost as well. Fun is always important. And when you take it seriously, it doesn't mean you're not going to have fun, okay? You can take something very seriously and have fun at it at the same time. And I know this is a concept strange to a lot of us. It was strange to me for a long time, because I thought that in order to be a serious dancer, I needed to suffer. I come from this classical ballet tradition from a very early age that showed me that pain and sacrifice and blood, literal blood, and sweat and tears equaled high quality dance and seriousness and commitment. But that's not what Egyptian dance stands for. Okay, it's not about the pain, it's not about the blood. It's way less tragic, way less dramatic, and way more fun. So yes, you should take your dance seriously, but that also means you should have fun while studying it and committing to it. Okay, now another don't, and this is another big one. And the answer is gonna be so fast and so easy. Should I dance like Shakira? Another moment of silence, another big breath, and this is where meditation comes in my salvation. Otherwise, I would kill someone. Yes, should I dance like Shakira? I wondered if I should even answer this question, but then I thought it's so frequent. that it deserves an answer. And of course, you already know the answer is a blunt, fat, big no, you should not. First of all, because Shakira is not an Oriental dancer, guys. She's a Colombian singer who seems to have some Lebanese descent somewhere in her family. And apparently, she took a few classes with a dancer for a concert, for a specific musical piece, and that's it. She is by no means an Oriental dancer. She's not an example for anyone who wants to study Oriental dance. And by the way, you should not dance like Shakira or like anyone else. You should dance like yourself. And if somebody tells you, you should dance like me, I'm the model to follow, tell them to sod off. Tell them to just go for a ride, take a step back, and just disappear into the emptiness. Yes, please. Because this is totally wrong. It's certainly a don't. Whenever a teacher or a dancer tells you, this is how you should do it like me. And whenever you see a dancer or a teacher selling herself or himself like the model, this is how things should be done. This is how you should do it. Follow me, copy me. This is a huge red flag, a danger sign that you are in the presence of a narcissist, not in the presence of a teacher or of an artist. Teachers and dancers will teach you the language, but they cannot teach you how to speak. Okay? I can teach you the content, right? The dance vocabulary, the skills you need to develop as a dancer, the culture, the history. There is a lot that I can teach you as a teacher, but I cannot tell you this is how you're going to do it. Do it like me, or do it like her, do it like him, because that is not the goal of Egyptian dance. The goal of Egyptian dance is to find your identity and express your identity using the dance that you've been taught. So dance is a language. Everybody will speak differently. Everybody will speak in his or in her own way. So never, ever, this is a definitely don't. Think in terms of, I want to dance like this person, or I want to dance like that person. That's not the way to go, okay? So I want to dance like myself. This is the way to go. This is the do, okay? And if a teacher or a dancer has something to teach me, it's only the language, it's only the vehicle for the self-expression. That's all they can teach you. They cannot teach you how you're going to use that, what you're feeling, how you're going to feel that, how you're going to feel the music, how you're going to perform those movements, how you're going to match those movements and steps and postures, what you're going to make of that dance that you were once taught. This is a discovery process that only you can develop for yourself. Teachers can help you on that self-discovery process, but they can't, or at least they should not, see themselves as an icon, an image that you should copy. That is definitely a don't, okay? Now another do. Should I do whatever I feel like, or do I have to study in order to become a belly dancer? Okay. So I transcribed the questions exactly as they were sent to me. Then again, you already know, I don't know what the hell is a belly dancer. I know what is an Oriental dancer. So I'm going to replace the word belly dancer by Oriental dancer. Thank you very much. So should I do whatever I feel like, or do I have to study in order to become an Oriental dancer? I think I've already answered this one actually. This is a big do in terms of knowing that you have to study and you have to do what you feel at the same time. So then again, education is not the opposite of self-expression. And I've heard it so many times. Dancers telling me, I do what I feel, right? Egyptian dance is about dancing from the heart. So I'm dancing from my heart. Don't tell me what to do. Don't tell me that I cannot do this or that in a ballet piece, or don't tell me I cannot do this or that with Kulthum. Don't tell me I need to know the music, I need to study. I do what I feel. I'm expressing myself. That is just dumb, okay? There is no other word for it. It is dumb. Because then again, education is not the opposite of personal expression and personal freedom. I educate myself and I express myself using the language that I am educating myself in. Okay? So if you see Egyptian dance as a language, which it is. Every kind of dance is a language. You learn codes, you learn words, you learn phrases. If you really acknowledge that Egyptian dance is a language, then you have to ask, what am I going to say with this language? I am learning the language. That's the study part, right? But then, what am I going to say with this language? What poems am I going to write? What is the emotion, the energy, the story that I want to tell with this language? So that's the personal expression part, but the personal expression part cannot exist without the education. I always give this example. I love Chinese and Japanese dance, okay? If you put on a piece of Japanese music or Chinese music, I assure you, I'm an artist. I will improvise and I will do something about it, okay? But I have never studied Chinese or Japanese dance. So even if I'm very inspired, even if I'm a great dancer, even if I have a story to tell and I listen to the music and I follow the music, do you think there is a chance in hell that I'm going to do something interesting with that piece? Me, dancing Japanese dance, not having studied Japanese dance? It's not going to happen. It's going to be a hot damn mess. And the same thing happens with Egyptian dance. What I don't understand is why people think that they need to study Indian dance, the classical Indian dances, Japanese dance, Chinese dance, flamenco, tango, but they don't need to study Egyptian dance. Egyptian dance is up and open for everything. No need to study, no need to respect it, no need to work on it. La 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 la. It's easy. It's easy. Anyone can do it. Why? This is not true, okay? So a definite do is to combine your education, your studies. So yes, you do need to study it with personal expression. Learn the language and then say whatever you need to say with that language. Express yourself using that language that you're studying, okay? Now, do I need to have a certain body type for belly dance? Okay, this is another big one, right? Do I need to have a certain body type for belly dance? This is a big don't. When teachers and other dancers tell you need to have a specific body type, a specific aspect for Egyptian dance. Although in professional terms there is some truth to it, because you are kind of harmed if you are not fitting into a certain stereotype. It is true, I'm not going to lie to you. This is true in Egypt, it is true of work around the world. I do remember that when I moved to Egypt to start my work, for instance, I was told that I had to darken my hair. I was told that perhaps it was a good idea to do some plastic surgery. The same thing happened when I danced in Lebanon, even harder than in Egypt. I actually dyed my hair black for a while, but then it was too heavy on my hair. I could not keep it because I had to dye it all the time and it would destroy my hair, and I quit it and I just said, oh, whatever, I am what I am, you know. And if people are coming to see me just because the way I look, then I'm not even a dancer, so damn it, you know. And I dropped it. But I do know that although your focus and your forte as a dancer should be your dance, that's what will ultimately make you a dancer and a successful dancer and teacher. That's what ultimately creates a long-lasting career. It's not the way you look, okay? Also because the way you look is gonna change. So good luck with that. But at the same time, I am aware that a certain stereotype is expected of an Oriental dancer, a certain body type. Should you worry about that? I don't think so, because in the end of the day, I mean, will you change who you are? Will you do plastic surgery? Will you darken your skin or lighten your skin or change your hair? I don't know. Some dancers do. Many dancers do, in fact, especially in Egypt, in the Middle East. They do plastic surgery, they do the boobs, they do everything. They're free to do so, but I don't think that's the way to go. Because then again, what we need is better dancers. What we need is Oriental dance shows that are more and more professional. What we need is audiences that come to an Oriental dance show to see an artist. This is what I want to see, and this is what I know for a fact will allow the dance to evolve and to be respected as it has never been so far. Okay. Another question that I have here related to a big don't is, should I wear skimpy clothes in order to do belly dance? And this is a big don't. Now, then again, there is freedom, okay? And as a professional Oriental dancer, I've worn more revealing clothing, less revealing clothing. For me, it was never a question of attracting attention to my body, because then again, I've always been very proud of my dance skills and my dance talent. So that has always been my focus. I never needed to call attention to my body in order to draw attention to myself. I'm very proud to say that. That is not the case for a lot of dancers who do not trust their dancing skills, or perhaps do not have dancing skills, okay? But that's another conversation. But if you are a strong dancer, a well-educated, talented, skilled dancer, the question of how revealing your clothes are is, I believe, secondary, and it should be adapted to the music you're dancing to the style you're dancing to, and to how you feel. As I mentioned, there have been times when I wore more revelatory bedla, like in tabla solos or in shabi, you know, depending on the style and depending on my mood, the context, a more revelatory clothing makes sense. And then there has been a time or times when I have worn bedla or clothes that were a little bit more conservative, not because I'm conservative, but because the style itself was not asking for something else. So instead of worrying, is this showing too much skin or not, worry about your dance skills and calling attention to you from your dance skills. Let your audience be drawn to you because you are the best dancer, not because you're showing your legs or you're showing your breasts. That's not interesting. That's not honoring you or honoring your talent. So you have to develop your skills and your talent in order to be confident in them, so that you don't use skimpy clothing to call the attention to you. Okay, so for me, it is a big don't. You should not wear skimpy clothing to do Oriental dance, to do Egyptian dance, and to call people's attention. People's attention, let me repeat, should be drawn to you due to the talent, the emotion, the soul, the magnetism, and the quality of your dance, period. Clothing is secondary. It is not the primary focus. It should not be. At least it has never been for me. Now, these are the questions I have selected. This is a shorter Juju live session, okay? So what I have for you now is a quick list of do's and don'ts, okay, in Egyptian dance that I believe is gonna guide you. It's gonna guide you and inspire you. Now, let me just check if there are questions or not, because I cannot see anything. Yeah, I'm unable to see things. I don't know. My internet is not working very well today. So, do's in Egyptian dance. First of all, study, educate yourself. Yes, I've already mentioned that, but it is so important. I've been doing this for more than 20 years at the highest level. First in Egypt, where I started my career, and then around the world. And I never stopped educating myself. I do it every day. Not only through the work I do at my school, Joana Saahirah's online dance school, in my private coaching, in my events, in my collaborations, but also as a student. As a student, okay? So educating, studying, working on your craft is a never-ending love affair. It should be. And then again, it is the perfect boost, the perfect partner to self-expression and personal freedom, okay? Second, do. Connect to your heart. Yes. Connect to your heart. We live in a society and in a world where everything is so rational, everything is so ego, vanity oriented. We live in a very superficial, fast, machine like, robot like society, more and more, unfortunately. So when you do the opposite movement, when you connect to your heart, when you connect to your soul, when you connect to emotions, when you connect to love, when you connect to the good feelings, the feelings that make you human, and when you use them in your dance and hopefully in your daily life, in your interactions with your loved ones, with your colleagues, with strangers, when you operate from the heart, you're not only getting into the magic of Egyptian dance, but you're also preserving your humanity. So connecting to the heart is another big do in Egyptian dance, and it's a big do in everything, I believe. Another big do in Egyptian dance: own your uniqueness. I've been saying this for decades, literally. I remember that when I started teaching Egyptian dance, I was already saying this. Now it's starting to be fashionable. You're welcome. But I've been saying this for 20 something years. Own your uniqueness. There are no icons to copy. There are no gurus to follow. A real teacher will set you free so that you can be who you are, express who you are, and empower who you are. A true teacher will not tell you, do it like me, be like me, adore me, in my altar, in my guru altar. That is not what a teacher does. A teacher puts himself or herself in the second plan so that you, the student, can shine. When I'm performing, I'm the one shining. But when I'm teaching, my students are shining. I step back and I give them the tools that will allow them to shine. This is what a real teacher does. A real teacher is not the star. A real teacher wants you to be the star of your dance and the star of your life. So owning your uniqueness is a huge part of that process. Okay? Own your uniqueness and understand that everybody else is unique. So the question of comparing yourself to others is off. The question of competing with others that comes from comparison is totally off. I am unique, and so is everybody else. And being unique does not mean I am superior or inferior. It means I'm unique. An orange does not compare itself to a strawberry. They are different, they're unique, okay? There is no comparison. So stop comparing yourself and own your uniqueness. What makes me unique as a dancer? What makes me unique as a person, right? What is unique in my way of listening to the music? What is unique in my way of moving? What is unique in my emotion, in my emotional response to the music? What is unique in my ideas, in the way I deal with the music, in the way I react to the music? If I really tap into that identity, that unique fingerprint, I'm tapping into my personal power. That is true for Egyptian dance. It is true for everything. So it's a big do. Own your uniqueness and hopefully inspire others to do the same. Okay. The last do that I have for this session is take it slow. Take it slow. I know this is a hard one. Believe me, I'm an impatient person. Taking it slow is not my thing. Okay. But I have learned along the way, this is super, super, super important. Impatience, anxiety, shortcuts, wanting to make it faster and easier is never gonna allow you to grow as much as you could. And many Oriental dancers want shortcuts. They don't want the bases, they don't want the pillars, they don't want to do the foundational work. They want to go to the finish line. Give me a choreography, I'll memorize it, and I'll convince myself and the world that I'm an Oriental dancer. No, you're not. And you're going to figure that out sooner or later. And then eventually, if you really love the dance, you're going to have to start all over from the beginning. So to spare yourself the hurdle of having to go all the way back, start from the beginning, from the start, and take it slow. Learn the foundations, learn the ABC, develop the skills, the qualities, the awareness in your body, in your mind, in your heart, and in your soul that will allow you to dive into the magic of authentic Raksil Sharki. This is why in Joana Saahirah's signature course, our membership at Joana Saahirah's Online Dance School, this is a long-term training on Egyptian dance and self-empowerment from the beginner, from nothing, from zero until professional level. At the end, I'm going to tell you more about that at the end of this session. This is why in my signature course, I take dancers from all levels, from the foundational pillars until an advanced and professional level for the ones who want to go there. And all the students, from all the students we have in the first edition of my signature course, none was a real beginner. None of them were beginners, actually. But they had to learn it from the beginning, and all of them learned something new. They learned it by the book. So it is important to take it slow. It is important to not jump into shortcuts and wanting to go into the finish line. And by the way, there is no finish line. Without going through the stages of development that every Oriental dancer should go through, okay? Now, big don'ts. Don't buy into the diva masquerade. What is the diva masquerade? It's this adoration of self-made marketing idols. It's this adoration of pseudo-gurus who tell you, do it like me, be like me, follow me. Then again, and for the last time today, the only one you should follow is yourself. The only person that you should emulate and want to be like is yourself. In Egyptian dance, you have great icons, but they are unique. They are themselves. They can only teach you the movements, the steps, and the information around the dance. They cannot teach you how to dance. This is a discovery you have to make for yourself. And I know this is something many dancers don't want to hear, because we're searching for formulas and we want safe, predictable outcomes, but that is not how dance works. That is definitely not how life works. So follow your heart, follow your identity, learn as much as you can from professional teachers who have something to teach you, but don't buy into this follow me, I'm the diva bullshit, okay? A big don't, another big don't copy other dancers. This is actually in the line of what I've just said. Do not copy other dancers. Learn from whoever you want to learn, but in the end of the day, always ask, how do I do it? How do I feel it? How do I listen to this? How do I want to use this? Okay? It's always going back to yourself and asking, how am I going to use all this material that I'm learning? How am I going to apply this, making it my own? Okay? Another don't. Don't ever think that inspiration beats education. I've already covered that. Inspiration does not replace education. Education does not replace inspiration. Okay? I'm going to give you an example that I often tell my students. A few summers ago, I was studying creative writing in a college in Oxford. I did an internship there. So we were studying every morning in one of those beautiful Harry Potter colleges. And in the afternoons, we had to create something original. Every day, that was the structure of our education, okay? We would spend the mornings studying a specific thing, dialogues or an author or a style or whatever. And then in the afternoon, we had to put all of that behind us, sit down, and write something original, using everything we had learned that morning, whatever we managed to learn that morning. Whatever that was, you had to take it in and bring it out in your own way. There was no copy, there was no getting inspired here or there. There was only absorbing the information and then bringing out whatever you can bring out using what you have absorbed. So this is the perfect balance between education and self-expression, creativity. I am learning, absorbing, digesting movements, steps, information, history, facts, data, whatever. But at the end of the day, I have to ask, what am I going to do with this? What can I create of my own with all of this? Is this scary? It is scary for a lot of us, for many reasons. Maybe because you've never seen yourself as a creative person, or you don't think you're that talented. Maybe you don't trust your inspiration, your vision. Maybe you are afraid of being criticized. You're afraid of being judged, because when you do something from within, when you create something originally yours, that's a part of your identity. So what if people don't like it? What if they tell me this is horrible? It means I'm horrible? It means I'm not good? Creativity and identity are very connected. So the feedback we receive on our creative endeavors comes back to our identity. Unfortunately, it shouldn't, but usually it does. Okay, so it is important to understand why you don't trust your creative voice, why you don't trust your ability to create something original, and move past it. Okay, and the best way to move past it is to do it. Even if you think what you're doing is terrible, is not interesting, do it. You know, I usually tell my students, even if you think it's horrible, whatever you're doing, just do it. It beats not doing it. It beats not doing it. Even if I feel uninspired, this is awful, nothing of original or interesting is coming out of me, do it. Do it. It beats not doing it. So super important to understand that inspiration, creativity, self-expression, they are boosted, they are empowered by education. They are not the opposite of education, okay? The last don't, and it's a big one, don't move from your ego. Don't move from your ego. What is the ego? The ego is that small part of my self-awareness, of my identity, that needs approval, that needs to control, that needs to be liked, that needs to be applauded, that needs to fit in. Egyptian dance is about dancing from the soul, from the essence. And dancing from the soul, dancing from the essence, is connected to the heart. So I am truly expressing myself, and I couldn't care more or less if you like it, if you don't like it, if I have likes, if I don't have likes, if I have followers, if I don't have followers, if there are comments or not. I couldn't care less, because the soul is above those things. It's above those concerns. That's the ego talking. I want to be the best dancer. I want to beat them all. I want to show them. This is the ego. This is the ego talking. This is not the soul. And of course, it is easier said than done, you know. So often my students ask me, Joana, but how do I dance from my soul? Right? Because it's easy to say, don't dance from your ego, dance from your soul. The question is, how do you do that? If dancing from the soul, the connection to the soul, to the essence, to that part of yourself that is eternal, that is your core, that is going to go on once your physical body is gone. If this connection is not something that you do naturally, you're going to ask me, how do I do that? How do I connect with my soul, and how do I dance from my soul? And that's the $1 million question, okay? And then again, This is one of the things I work on in my school at Joana Saahirah's Online Dance School, in my private online coaching, of course, and definitely at my signature course, Joana Saahirah's signature course, Authentic Egyptian Dance, Personal Discovery and Empowerment from the ABC till Mastery. Yes. So this is how we wrap this Juju Live session. And at the end of it, I'm going to leave you with two invitations. First of all, the ones who have not subscribed to our free and fabulous newsletter, feel welcome to do so. I'm going to share the link for you to subscribe to the newsletter either in the comments to this video or in the description box below the video if you happen to be watching this at my YouTube channel. And I'm also going to invite you to take a look at the second edition of our signature course that is about to be pre-launched. We have a waiting list for the signature course. This is for dancers of all levels who want to learn authentic Egyptian dance and personal empowerment through my method, through my pedagogy, a very unique way of teaching Egyptian dance. You will not find it anywhere else in the world. And if you're interested about being the first to know all the information around the second edition of my signature course, I'm also going to suggest that you join the waiting list, okay? By joining the waiting list, you're not subscribing. You're just joining the waiting list to be warned of all the updates regarding the pre-launch of the course, okay? So once again, I'm going to leave the link for the waiting list for Joana Saahirah's signature course, second edition, either in the comments to this video or in the description box below the video if you happen to be watching this at my YouTube channel. Thank you guys for the questions. Thank you for being live with me. Thank you for watching the replay. I'm gonna see you soon. Until then, all my love and my warmest, most loving, soulful kiss. Mwah.